Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra-bhashya-krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah-punah Sruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. We are in the last verse, 5th verse. Ekante sukamaschyatam paratare chetas samadhiyatam purnatma susamikshyatam jagadidam tadbhaditam drushyatam prakkarma pravilapyatam chitibalat napyuttarais nishyatam. Up to here we saw 6 values we saw in 5th verse. So in total up to 38 we have completed. Instructions out of 40, 38. So this will be the last class on Sadhana Panchakam. A beautiful text written by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, meant for spiritual seekers. Okay. So last point is what? Prarabdham tviha bujyatam atha parabrahmatmanasti yatam. Now, first shloka of Sadhana Panchakam talks about Brahmacharya Ashrama. Second shloka of Sadhana Panchakam talks about Grihastha-ashrama. We can relate it like that, sure, Grihastha-ashrama. Third shloka talks about Vanaprastha-ashrama. Because where Vanaprastha starts contemplating, studying of scriptures, etc. And fourth verse speaks about Sannyasa-ashrama, where Audasinyam Vishutam Janakripa, all the sannyas. Janakripa Naishchir Utsrujyatam. This is, don't get caught up in the meshes of others' sympathies. This is sannyasa dharma. And the last one, 5th verse, spoke about Jivan Mukti Purusha and also Videha Mukti. So Jivan Mukti means what? While living, one who had realized the truth, Jivan Mukti, and Videha Mukti after dropping the body. So we saw Jivan Mukta Purusha, man who are liberated while living. How does he treat the karmas? He spends most of the time in Nididhyasanam. In the first 2 lines we saw. The third line we saw, he dissolved the Sanchita karma. How does he dissolve? And Agami karma, the future karma palas also he dissolves. Then what remains is Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha is what? Bhogena nashyati. What is Prarabdha? We saw in the last class, out of Sanchita karma, some karmas are taken out because all Sanchita karma, we cannot exhaust it in one life. So many karmas are there. And one life to fit in and to create a life so that you get opportunities to exhaust all those, it doesn't happen. Think. So, in one life I decide I want to be a king. That vasana is there. That Sanchita karma. In next some other life, I decide, no. I have enjoyed a lot of wealth. I must live as a simple man in a village. These two desires are there. Deep rooted. So Bhagavan says, okay, I will fulfill these 2 desires. So these two may not happen in one life. Like that, so many desires that we have, sanchita karma. Desires in seed form. So prarabdha is something only taken out. Once the life is given to exhaust certain amount of sanchita karma, which have started giving the results, prarabdham. Once they started giving the results, we cannot stop them. They are already fructified and started giving us the results. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives an example that we have in the so many arrows are there in the quiver where the arrows are stored. One arrow is fixed to the bow, not yet released. One arrow already got released, and where it is going to hit the target, I don't know. Like, Shravana Kumara thought that it was some animal drinking the water. He shot an arrow, but he killed an old person. So the young son, the Dasara Maharaja killed young son of Shravana Kumara was killed. Then he was cursed. That story all you know. So once the arrow released, I cannot stop it. It will give its own results. So that is called prarabdha. Released arrow is called prarabdha. The arrow which is fixed to the bow is agami, yet to come. And all those in the quiver called sanchita, stored. I can give up sanchita, I can throw this agami also without sandhanam. What prarabdha? I have to go through it. So janma, ayu, bhoga, as per Yoga Shastras, all the three are fixed for a life. Janma, what kind of janma? Birth we get, how many years we live, longevity, and what kind of karmas that we go through, experiences which we go through in life. Why are we born? To exhaust what? And all those prarabdha karma, circumstances, events, they start unfolding in front of us. The buddhi works like that. Chances also, the life opportunities also will be like that. They prarabdha guides. We are actually helpless. We think we are decided. No, prarabdha is prabala prarabdha. So prarabdha karma is left out. Then where is purushartha? Purushartha is what? For a man of this one, he has no desire to mend the prarabdha. Man of realization, he doesn't want to interfere with the prarabdha karma. Why? There is no ego. So it doesn't matter how the life goes on and body goes through. He just waits to drop the body. Body gets dropped. Body will get dropped by itself. So he is waiting for the time. So he has no desire to mend the ways or put another self-effort for this kind of laukika prapancham, abhoga, and for the kind of happiness and joy in this relative world. So prarabdha karma, one is bhogena nashyati. We have to go through the results of our karma phalas which have started yielding the results. Karmas which started yielding the results, we have to go through it. So in the case of a man of jnanam, the knowledge, the Jivan Mukta Purusha, he has no ego inside. He doesn't identify with the body. So he lets the body go through its own prarabdha without any interference. With a detached buddhi, with detached state. Right? This is a prarabdha. Now, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, prarabdham pushyati vapuhu iti nischitya nischalaha dhairyamalamvya yatnena swadhyasapana yankuru. The prarabdha is nourishing the body. Pushyati, nourishment. The body is nourished by the prarabdha. Iti nischitya nischalaha. And having concluded firmly in this way, and that is the truth, nischalaha bhavati. So I don't have to, I don't want to do any, I cannot do anything. The prarabdha goes. Prarabdha continues. Dhairyam alambya yatna. So he puts self-effort in dhairyam, in gain the courage to face it as it is. So adhyasa apanayam kuru. And what is adhyasa? That I am the body on that Atman. I am the body superimposed. This thought keep on denying. I am not the body. Apanayam kuru. I just said in a just manner. So, while we are going through life, right, we don't know what kind of prarabdha unless it manifests in front of us. Oh, I am going for a wedding party. I am happy. I am enjoying life. I am going for a wedding party. I'll meet friends. Who knows? So many people met with an accident and died on the way to wedding. They wanted to take an enjoy picnic, and prarabdha brings them to death. On the contrary, if the prarabdha is good, even though the greatest building collapsed, but baby is smiling there, even after 10 days. How the baby is fed, we don't know. We read such reports. Healthy baby. Nothing happened, somebody protected. Prarabdha. So therefore, while living our life, two kinds of results we go through. What is sukham and dukkham? Right? In both the prarabdhas, if I not get detached, I get caught up. But in the case of Jivanmukta Purusha, he is not attached at all to prarabdha karma. He is completely detached. So how does he, when sukham comes, sukha prarabdha, deha prarabdha it is, at the same time, he will not generate a desire. He cannot generate. He is already established with knowledge. In our case, what do we do? Sukha prarabdha comes, we plant a desire. Oh, may this good prarabdha continue. May this be repeated. So I am planting a desire. Why I am ego? I am having ego. Individuality is strong. So let it continue. The thought will continue. That thought will come. Suppose bad prarabdha. So I don't want this. I am trying to push it. While going through bad prarabdha, I am suffering because of my identification. In the case of Jivanmukta Purusha, he is established in truth. He knows it so beautifully. What is that? That he goes through all the problems. Gurudev says here so beautifully, actions that have started to yield their results are called prarabdha, and they are to be humbly lived through in a silent sense of surrender and thus exhausted. In a silent sense of surrender and exhaust them. So that's called titiksha. For bad prarabdha, when we go through in life, we need titiksha, forbearance. So sahanam sarvadukkanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha nigadyate. So while going through bad prarabdha, what we need to demonstrate is what? Titiksha or forbearance or endurance. High degree of endurance. How? Sahanam sarvadukkanam titiksha, what is that? Apratikara purvakam. Without any reaction to it. We don't react. Why this is happening to me? Why it should happen to me of all the people? Why it should happen to me now only? I don't react. I'm going through, but I'm reaction. I'm not quite with a sense of surrender, humbly living through all with a silent sense of surrender. That is not there. I am pratikara buddhi. I don't want this, kind of a fighting with it. So without apratikara buddhi, apratikara purvakam, chinta vilapa rahitam. There is no chinta, worry, and vilapa, wailing, rahitam. There is no kind of sorrow, crying, wailing, when I am going through all these negative experiences in life. Positive ones, I generate a desire to repeat it. Negative ones, I go through with great reactions. And both the ways, what's happening? My ego is strong. In the case of Jivan Mukta Purusha, he doesn't have all that. He just lets go, let the entire life unfold in front of him. He is a Deha Prarabdha. He is just as a witnessing, absolutely detached from within. So he surrenders to Prarabdha, meaning it cannot be done anything. It is not me. So let it go on the body Prarabdha. So therefore, the Prarabdham itha bujjatam. Just go through it. This is a Jivan Mukta Purusha Lakshanas. He lives through the Prarabdha. Then what happens in the end? Then thereafter, atha parabrahmatmanasthiyatam. Thereafter, parabrahmatmanasthiyatam. Live as what? I am Brahman. That's it. This is called Videha Mukti. After the body dropped, how I exist? I am that all-pervading Brahman. That's it. This is called real awakening. Meaning, Jivan Mukta, I experienced that the bliss of Brahman. But the body Prarabdha is there. I am not identified with it. In fact, Jivan Mukta Purusha, Videha Mukta is only from the standpoint of the public, onlookers. The Mahatma, he's already dropped the body identification. So he's actually established in Brahman. There's no difference in Jivan Mukta and in the state of their realization. But then, when the Jivan Mukta, the body is still hanging around. And is not identified with it. We see it. Onlookers see it as a Mahatma's Prarabdha. Ask Mahatma, he says it is not even my Prarabdha. Because there is no ego to claim as though it is my Prarabdha. To say my Prarabdha, there is no ego involved in it. So therefore, here ultimately, atha parabrahmatmanastiyata. So I am that Parabrahman. There is no Nama, Rupa, Guna, Vishesha, Kriya, Sambandha, nothing is there. I am just eternal presence, pure consciousness, homogeneous, Ananda Swarupaha. So Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham. And I just remain like that. There is no thought there. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, we chant because we have body and sense organs, etc. But in that state, I am just there. That's it. I am remains as what? As one all-pervading, pure, eternal consciousness. In fact, that is me. That state is actually me. Rest all is a drama. By ignorance, because of avidya, I am gone through. But now once I awakened, we don't ask when did the avidya begin. First avidya, the thought avidya is beginningless, anadi. Your time has come afterwards as a karya, effect of avidya. So that is not when did it start, is not the question. How I should get out of this body identification, mind identification, intellect identification, and how I can establish myself in myself as that Supreme Brahman. This should be the thought. So, atah parabrahmatmana, and afterwards, he remains as Brahman. And before that, before dropping the body, he remains as Brahman alone. As Brahman alone, this body is working, but his existence on the planet becomes a great blessing to everyone. That's a very, very wonderful state. That like Ramana Maharshi, Tapon Maharaj, or the great, great Mahatmas, saints and sages. They just lived. Their existence is a great blessing to the world. Therefore, live as Brahman thereafterwards. So, this is how Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji taught us these 40 values in a beautiful way. So, ultimately, stay as what? Atha Parabrahmatmanas Tiyata. So, the pot broke, the Ghatakasham inside, space conditioned by pot. What happens to that after breaking the pot? It becomes one with the total space. So the ego is not there at all. Only the Shuddha Brahma, Atman alone remains. So for that, all the seekers try. Life after life. So whatever good actions we try to do, whatever we sadhana we do towards that, they are not lost. Nahi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Whoever is putting best efforts to realize the truth, their efforts will not go waste. So with all enthusiasm, with all inspiration, drawing the energy, blessings from the great masters, gurus, every spiritual seeker should put his or her best efforts to realize that infinite truth within our own self as the one without the second. Advaita or Advaya Brahmatmana Stiyata. So that is the ultimate purpose of life. That is the purpose of life, actually. And we create secondary purposes in life, which are deviating us from the main goal. But Bhagavan wanted us what? Each one of you go to the earth, exhaust your vasanas, do sadhana, awaken to the truth, and be ever liberated. So thus we concluded. Now we will chant all the 5 verses before we end the class. It will be a good revision for all of us. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushtiyatam tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitik kamye matistyajyatam papaughah paridhuyatam bhavasuke doshonusandhiyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagruhat turnam vinirgamyatam sangasatsu vidhiyatam bhagavato bhaktirdhrudadhiyatam shantyadhiparichiyatam drudataram karmasu sanchajyatam Sadvidvanupasrupyatam pratidinam tatpaduka sevyatam brahmaikaksharamartyatam srutishiro vakyam samakarnyatam vakyarthascha vicharyatam srutishira pakshas samasriyatam dustarkat suviramyatam srutimatastarkonusandhiyatam Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam aharahar garva parityajyatam deham matirujyatam bhudajanaihi vada parityajyatam kshudvyadischa chikitsyataam pratidinam vikshaushadham bhujyatam swadvannam natu yachyatam vidivashat praptena santushyatam शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपा नैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम् एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयताम् पूर्णात्मा सुसमीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्भादितं दृश्यताम् प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान्नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह बुध्यताम् अथ परब्रह्मात्मनास्तीयताम्। हर हर शंकर, जय जय शंकर। भगवान Adi Shankaracharya ji's blessings may be there always on all of us, all the spiritual seekers of the world. May Adi Shankar help us in awakening all of us to our own essential nature. May Guru Parampara bless all of us. Thank you, and thanks to Indica or Advaita Academy for organizing these talks, and best wishes to one and all. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you all. Shubham Sarvada Bhuyat. Hari Om.